Chances are, if you're doing this video, you're already really fed up with fractions. Do you know what? So am I. I've been working on these bits now for, it must be at least 50 years. And it's doing my head in. So we'll have a quick moment. We'll indulge that. I'm going, and you do it. Go and pull a face. Feeling better? Good. Now let it go. Because if you're feeling like that when you start, you're never going to be able to do it. You'll just make silly mistakes and you'll get more angry and you'll make more silly mistakes. So we're going to pretend we're having fun. Yeah, okay, it's not working for me either. But nonetheless, come on, we'll try. So we're going to use the story method today because if you're here, you're desperate. I want you to imagine your favourite supermarket. There's a little demon outside and he's waving his vouchers because he wants to make smaller his bill. So we have a quick look at our numbers and we see if we can reduce anything. Yes, we can. Instead of being 6/8, that would be 3/4, wouldn't it? 2 goes into that 3 times, 2 goes into that 4 times. I'll just draw it here if you like. There's our 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is 3/4. So now we've got that. I'm just going to rub this out here. Normally you'd write it underneath so you can follow your workings, but I'm a little bit short for space, so take away 3/4. Now, the next thing our demon does, he goes in and looks around the supermarket to see if he can see his neighbour. Now, therein lies a little story. He was clearing up dog poo in his garden, and he's got a big dog, and one went over the wall and landed in the neighbour's garden. He's a bit worried about this, and he was wondering how he was going to go round and explain the situation. And whilst he was still there, on the horns of a dilemma, he overheard his neighbour going, "Oh, Fido, what have you done? I think you've had a bottom explosion," because the neighbour's little dog was only about that big, and the poo was probably that big. So the neighbour rushed poor little Fido off to the vet. And worse than that, he took the poo with him. Now you can imagine, you don't want to sort of like have that conversation with someone, do you? Just kind of like, hope it all goes away. So that's what our demon is. He gets in there, has a quick look round, just in case his neighbour there. So we have a quick look round, see if there's anything obvious or easy. There's not. But he does notice an old school friend of his who has got a baby in the trolley. And the baby in the trolley is getting a bit grumpy because, it's the supermarket. So whilst they chat, he amuses the baby by sticking his finger through a hole in his top and going, "Hello." And I think he even drew a little face on it. Now, to you and me, that's pretty inane. But to a 1-year-old, that's very funny. Woo! So the next thing we do is the whole numbers. We've reduced things. We've had a quick look, see if there's anything obvious. Because it could be like 1.5, take away 1/4. Well, we know that is 1 1/4, don't we? Sometimes a bit of common sense is all we need. In this case, that didn't work. So now we sort out the whole numbers. I know it's spelt differently. There we are. There's whole as in whole numbers, and that's whole as in a shirt. But, sometimes you just have to go with it, don't you? So we do the whole numbers. 9 take away 3 is 6. So now we've got 6 and 5/9. Take away 3/4. I was going to write that 3 down, because we've already taken it away from that one, haven't we? Now, he's just seen his neighbour. He wants to avoid the situation, so he does an improper action. Got it? Come on, have a go. Very nice. Don't do it again? Good. So he does an improper action. So we're going to make that into an improper fraction. So we've got all these pizzas here. 6 pieces. We're going to cut them into 9ths. So 6 times 9 is 54. Plus these 5/9. Don't forget these 5. So that will make 59 9ths. Take away the 3/4. Well, you can't keep going to your neighbour, can you? So they had to sort of have a fairly awkward conversation, and then they found a common denominator, something that they could both talk about happily, and of course it was their dogs. The neighbour was happy that his little dog hadn't had a bottom explosion, and you're happy that your neighbour is still talking to you and doesn't appear to have given you the vet bill. Not yet, at least. So you can chat doggy talks. What do we do maths-wise? We find a common denominator, something that both these numbers will go into. And 36, 36, 36. Don't forget to put in that minus. That's where it can go wrong. You really have to keep an eye on it. It's only a little line, but it can go badly wrong. So we multiplied the bottom by 9. We multiplied the top by 9. 27. We multiply the bottom by 4. We multiply the top by 4. Now, clever people can do that in their heads. I'm not one of them. So 9 times 4 is 36. 5 times 4 is 20. And 3 is 23. So that's 236. 36 of pizza. And then somebody comes along and eats 29 36ths of pizza. So that, at least they're all the same size and we can sort of see what's going on. So in our story, they found a common denominator, something they had in common. And then you've got to just shove everything into your trolley. Okay, shove it in. Now that means we've got to do the adding up or the taking away. So we've got 236 bits of pizza. I eat 27. How many have we got left? 7 from 6. Can't do borrow. 16 take away 7 is 9. 2 take away nothing is 0. 2. So now we end up with 209 36ths of pizza. So what happens then? So that's our shoving everything into the trolley. Then we're going to go to the cash out, the till. It's the best till I could come up with. Once you've sort of, it goes through the till, you have to pack it into bags. So 209 36 is a silly sort of way of doing things. We want to find out roughly how many whole pizzas that is. So we've got to do, will that sort of reduce down or something? No. So 36 and 36 is 72. So that's that would be 2 pizzas. 144, which is double that, would be 4 pizzas. I reckon it's going to be 5 pizzas. Let's try it. 6, 13, 236. Yeah, that's that was 6, wasn't it? Why didn't you tell me? You could see that was happening. You should have shouted. It's okay to make mistakes in this. Everybody makes mistakes. You're nuts if you try and get it so it's not mistaken. Let's give ourselves a bit more space, shall we? In the exam, never rub out workings. You haven't got time. It's just for space I need to do that. I reckon it is 5 times. Let's do 36 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 3 times 5 is 15 and 3 is 18. 180. So we can make 5 whole pizzas. Let's write that down because I will forget. 5 whole pizzas, and then we'll see how many bits we've got left over. So we had 209 to start with. We've taken out 180 to make these whole pizzas. 9. So that's 29. 36. Ta-ra! And that is what, then you just remember those vouchers you started off with. You have a look, see if you can reduce it any further. We can't. It's not going to be as hard as this in 11 plus, I promise. But if you can do these ones, you've nailed it for life. See you soon. Bye-bye.